So who made the decision not to be here?
I would say that was a collective decision. Ultimately, we were following guidance by DOJ, and I believe that Zach and I, our lack of attendance here was in good faith, that we were operating from guidance from above, and
the chairman of a committee invites you to come to the hearing. You just unilaterally decided not to show up. You didn't even inform us until, I think it's less than 24 hours before the hearing.
Sir, it was my understanding that communication was happening throughout that
Mr.
last
Strickland,
week.
listen, we appreciate being here today. I appreciate what you do for this country. But attending a congressional hearing is not an optional activity. And I want to be crystal clear with you, as I did the acting administrator, or the acting, your boss, that it is not an optional activity. And for you to unilaterally just kind of collectively say, well, 2 of our people aren't going to show up, come on. That doesn't happen in any other setting, and you should be ashamed of yourself for that.
Well, sir, I would say, and if you may please allow me, because you're questioning my honor now.
Yeah, I am.
I don't appreciate that. Okay.
Well, I am, because you were invited to come.
Sir, I was following guidance. I'm a good soldier. I was following orders. Okay?
Who ordered you? Who told you not to come?
The Department of Justice
Who?
decided.
I want to know a name.
Sir,
I don't want to know
names. There's so many names. I could probably list off 8 names between the agency and the department.
Good.
That I
Give me one.
So
you got 8 names. Name them right now.
Who all was this discussed with?
Yes. Who told you not to come? Start naming them.
So are you suggesting that I shouldn't follow guidance from the Department of Justice?
I want to know who's giving you that guidance.
Sir, I don't understand how this gets to this point.
You told me there were at least 8 and that you could name more. So give me one, and then we'll start with number 2.
Sure. Mr. Raymer, he's the head of the Office of Legislative Affairs.
Keep going.
Correct?
Number 2.
There's several individuals that work in that shop. Correct? I believe one of them's name is Jill Tyson.
Keep going.
There are a couple other
Number
individuals.
3.
I don't recall their name.
Number 3.
I don't recall his name, but there was another one involved. I know that Zach Terwilliger from the ODAG's office, there was conversations with him as well.
Who else? Number 4.
I believe this information was briefed to the Deputy Attorney General. From ATF, there was discussions with Director Brandon and every one of our assistants.
Number 5. Name number 5.
Joe Allen. He's our Chief of Staff.
Number 6.
Right now I'm having a memory block, sir, but
you'll give me 6, 7, and 8?
I guarantee I give you more names than that, sir. But I don't understand.
When will you give me those names?
I'll give those names as soon as I can recall, sir, and I'm sure my staff can help me with that.
Give me a date. Give me a date. Give me a date when you're going to give me those names.
Sir, I would never ever have dishonored this committee, or myself, or the agency, and failed to appear if I thought for a minute that this would have ever happened. Not for a minute.
Yeah, if you didn't think there were going to be any consequences, you just decided to blow it up.
Look, I have briefed your staff. I have offered 3 times to meet with you.
We want you to brief the members of Congress.
Sir, I offered to meet with you personally on this matter the day after that hearing took place. I've met with.
No. We do this in the open, in the public, so all members of Congress. It's nice that you say you're going to brief staff.
I'm happy to answer that right now.
Hold on. We want you to brief members of Congress.
I'm doing that
not
right
behind
now,
closed doors either. You were invited here for a purpose. Now, I appreciate you giving me those names.
Sir, I came here as a good, honorable person, and you admitted that you challenged my honor. I do not appreciate that. I operated in good faith.
Operating in good faith, you didn't show up.
I was told that it was an invitation, as Director Brandon explained. I did not know that that was not optional. I would have happily gone against Department of Justice guidelines and been here that day. I've even discussed it with Inspector General Horowitz. Everyone that I've ever talked to about this understands precisely what happened that day. Yet you want to get your 15 seconds of YouTube minute time to challenge my honor. You know, that night, sir, I had to call my sister. My sister and my brother worked for ICE. It was portrayed that I failed to testify.
You did.
Before
That's the fact.
I did not fail, sir.
That is the fact. You failed to testify.
I was following guidance. I would never dishonor
the memory
of an ICE agent that way.
This is what Mr. Brandon said. Well, the decision is theirs voluntarily. To let you know, Mr. Chairman, I did not order them not to be here, and no one that I know of from the department ordered them not to be here. Is that correct or incorrect?
Sir, it's my understanding that that was the first time he was ever made aware of that morning. I think he got caught off guard, and I believe you had some words with him right before the hearing started. It's not completely accurate, no.
So what Mr. Brandon testified to is not accurate.
What he said was, well, it is true to the extent, no, I was not ordered not to come. No one needed to order me, sir. All I need to be is told I don't need direct orders. I didn't need your subpoena. If I would have known I needed to be here, I would have been here.
That's why you were invited to come testify. Was it your voluntary decision to do it or not do it?
No, sir. I was following guidance.
Okay. To the members of this committee, it's stunning that we have to sit now 6 minutes to go through this.
Stunning to me that you're challenging my entire career, sir, over a thing that's quite obvious to me.
Didn't challenge your entire career. I started off by saying we appreciate everything you do.
Sir,
but when you're, no, hold on.
My honor.
When I'm asking you a question, you're going to listen, okay? I thanked you for your service to this country. You've done innumerable things that we can't even name here throughout a long and distinguished career. That's why you're in a senior position. But when you are invited to Congress, it is not an optional activity.
You can't separate my honor from what I do for my career and my life, sir, to your scenario that you're trying to point out. They're one and the same, sir. They are one and the same.
Okay. Well, I'm not here to disparage your entire career based on one incident. I'm here to say that that one incident was a really, really bad decision. And we're tired of people saying, well, I'll brief staff or I'll talk to you privately. When we're trying to do it in the open light of day, we have very valuable time and lots of important things to deal with here. That's why when you are invited to Congress, you're expected to show up. Now, if I have to issue you subpoenas to do so, then we will do that. And we appreciate you being here today. But we shouldn't have to go through that. I shouldn't have to go to the U.S. Marshals to go deliver you a thing. And for you to suggest that as the chairman of the committee, I'm just here to get a YouTube moment, are you kidding me?
Sir, I can assure you in the future.
You don't think that the value that we're trying to do on these cases is of value to the American people. When you hide information, you don't provide it to the United States Congress, you're having massive problems, and we can't get the answers to the questions that we have. There's a reason why I do have to issue subpoenas, and these two agencies, DEA and ATF, I love the men and women who do this, but the management, I got a serious problem with. That's why you're getting a gentleman's C from the Inspector General. That's why we're doing these types of hearings, is because you do need to be held accountable. And when you're invited to Congress, you don't sit around and have a group and say, well, it's probably in our best interest not to show up. We act in the best interest of the American people, and you don't respect that. That's why you didn't show up.
Sir, I do respect that tremendously, and I can assure you that in the future, regardless of what guidance I'm given from the Department of Justice, I will be very responsive to this committee. I can guarantee you that. Whether
and we understand each other.
Or whether it's records. Oh, yes, sir. I absolutely value the role of oversight. It's critical. We have to be accountable to the American people, sir. I never intended for this to be a personal issue. This is business. Unfortunately, it became a personal issue. Hey, I'm here. I will be held accountable for ATF. I'm the second in command of ATF, even though I'm acting. I'm happy to be accountable agency for anything that happens. You all need something on this committee. You name it, you got it.
We'll see. Yield back.